Hey guys, so today I'm hanging out with my friend and we are going to redo her kitchen area. Trust me, her husband's super excited about it and so am I. We're at Home Depot. I'm sure you could tell from the signs. Anyways, we're gonna go look at backsplash and paint and just in general get enough stuff that maybe we could push them towards that divorce arc that I've been looking forward to so badly. And that way I can still trophy wife, but we can still get the engagement of a starting over life at 40. Yes, okay, so that's my goal. What we're going to do today is ruin a marriage.
Okay, so the first thing we had to do, we were looking at backsplash. We had, I don't know, a kind of an idea with brass in the backsplash. And we just kept getting more drawn towards the idea of having a shiplap backsplash. So we went over here, we found these boards, called her husband, called her dad, and that is what we settled on.
Okay, so now we're looking for paints together and we decided, okay, let's backtrack real quick. You need to know this. We're going to do like a Provence, a French country kitchen. We're a little bit concerned that we're going to go and beachy because we've decided for the backsplash, we're going to do shiplap and we're going to do a shiplap wall. And sometimes that pulls beachy, sometimes it pulls French countryside. We also have two backsplash things that we're still buying because MJ is deluded that we're not going to go with shiplap, but that's fine. She can spend that money. Now we're looking at paint. We're going with whites. I'm letting her, because I'm the adult here, I am letting her pick two that she loves deeply and one that she's uncomfortable with to see where we land on that. We're going to get the samples and we're going to then go and start looking for decor, I think, and coffee. The coffee's not related to the kitchen. It's just a bath thing.
It sucks. Why is it not tilting?
I don't want to zoom in and out. I don't like this. Why are you doing it wrong?
Very scary.
Okay. This is so uncomfortable. It's so cringe. I'm cringe. Wow, these are beigey. We would please like 3 samples.
Okay.
The finish we would like is probably going to be eggshell enamel, I think.
Okay.
You like glossier?
No.
Okay, because the glossier you go, the cheaper it looks.
No, I don't like glossier, but that's
But the
it
more
for
matte you
kitchen.
go, the harder it is to clean.
I mean, satin says it's for kitchen
Satin's
too.
easy to clean.
Satin's easy to clean.
Well, we use satin in my whole house.
Why? Your kids are old enough that they're not touching your walls.
But it's the backsplash.
The backsplash is not painted. It's not backsplash. This is a dining room. It's not your kitchen.
Okay,
It's your dining
we
room.
could just.
Nobody's
you think
gonna touch
semi-gloss?
it. Nobody's gonna put boogers on it. I think eggshell enamel or matte.
Matte's hard to clean.
Yeah, it's not my house. I don't care if she cleans. It's easier for her to clean. Okay, so fine. Eggshell enamel.
Okay.
Final offer.
I still think satin.
Okay, satin. It is her home.
Okay.
Let's try it. And she wants to come back and prove me wrong.
Also, it's just a sample, so I don't know what she's doing.
347.
Do you guys want to see something absolutely ridiculous besides how I look right now? Come here. Come here, you thing. Look at this. Look at what this is. What is this? What is this? It's a dog, they say. Whoop. Okay, it's my boyfriend now.
Okay, so that was my friend MJ. I just wanted to show you our dynamic where we fought this entire time. We just love bickering. So now we're trying to do what we wanted to do was we also bought this wallpaper that just fell down because I'm amazing. Just like a sample roll of it. And we're just trying to come up with the general idea. That bouquet that she just handed me were fake flowers. That's the inspiration piece. Like that's the piece that we're drawing everything else from. So now I want to put everything together that we purchased. We got a few different wicker baskets. We got this little tool thing because we were considering changing out the rug. And we're just putting everything together to see what we like. Does it look good together? Is this the vibe we wanted? All of that stuff. So we're just piling it on this chair. And clearly nothing wants to stay. And just discussing our different ideas. Like how far the backsplash should go up, where the paint should go, where we should move certain things. MJ, my friend who you saw, she is super into copper. We have so much copper that we're working with. And then I realized I needed to pull some of that. So I just got her like kitchen utensils and put them over there. And we cannot decide whether or not we want this to be a focal wall. Do we want wainscoting? Do we want a chair rail? Should we put wallpaper? Should we just paint? Like, what are we going to do? And so we're struggling. This is not easy for us.
Can we look at the colors on the wall? I think that will help me.
No.
And I think not that light one.
I think we're putting it on the wall.
We'll put it on the wall, but I don't think it's
We're
one of
putting it
these
on the
two.
wall.
Now, which walls are we putting it on? Because now
You
I
need
feel
to put
like-
them on all of them. You need to put a sample over here, even though we have no idea what we're doing. Over there and over there. And over here.
This one is my favorite, so this is what I'm going to cut first.
Okay. Oh, I'll paint one too. Don't. The hesitant one. The dark one where you're like, this is dark. Literally the same thing.
No, it's not the same thing. Look at how beautiful and rich that color is.
Eating the dog.
Baby, you see it?
Baby, do you see how it's the literal exact same thing?
Baby,
You see? Oh, it is totally different.
it's totally different.
You need to calm down.
Totally different.
Okay, so I got a slightly lighter shade. I got a significantly darker. Honestly, look at how dark that came out. I did not think it was going to be so brown, but MJ locked into this like creamy tan color immediately, and her heart never swayed. She is a woman who knows she's a woman who knows absolutely nothing about exactly what she's going to do, but specifically in this paint, she knew. She locked in. She had lockjaw, would not release. I had to call animal control. And then the other really amazing thing is she has 40,000 family members. Her dad comes to help. Her mom comes to just hang out. Her husband's there helping. She has a million kids. And none of them but MJ want to be on film. So I was like, okay, yeah, that's no problem. We'll just, you'll see where my camera is and I'll talk about it. And the menfolk, which is what we referred to her husband and her father, the menfolk could not stand in the shot. They wanted to be 120% part of what MJ and I were doing. And the amount of us being like, shoo, you can't stay here and talk to us was crazy. It was so funny. So a lot of this is really choppy because they just wander in and out. Look, okay, so over here, this really bright white is super ugly right there. But on the other parts of the house, it was by far the superior color, and she was ridiculous to choose her beige. I loved it so much more. Even though I'm trying to go into a different pathway of not being like so beige, so colorless, the aesthetic. I don't know why when we say aesthetic, it's just like a beige palette. Why don't we just call it colorless? The colorless aesthetic where everything is just a muted beigey white. But okay, so not a dig at MJ because it turns out really, really pretty. I'll show you guys at the end. But I was really drawn to this white. I was like, this is what we want, guys. And I could not trick them into doing it. But I think I could gain their trust and break in and repaint everything. Okay, so then at this point, I realized I have not given you a whole room show. Like, here it is. So this is the dining room area. It's a very open concept. And the thing that MJ hates when we were talking about it, let's back up just a tiny bit. MJ and I like to go for walkies together. We text each other. We're like, walkies. And then we walk around our neighborhood and solve all of our problems together. And during one of these walks, she was talking about how she hates her countertop. It's ugly to her. And she absolutely can't stand the look of it. When the house was being built, she didn't get an input on that. eats at her soul. She cannot stand it. And I was like, well, I bet you we could change the things around it and you could fall in love with that countertop a little bit more. And then we're like, or we could paint the countertop. But then she and I both decided that that was incredibly risky and we're not willing to roll the dice that hard on her kitchen. But we can do like cosmetic things.
No.
I said, what? Quit saying all those words to me. Hi, Belle. So sweet. Okay, so today what we're going to do, and by we, I mean not me at all, but my friend's dad, we're going to come back here and we are going to do shiplap backsplash because it's just, there's no backsplash. It's just paint. We're going to move all of this from here over here or somewhere. We'll find somewhere. It doesn't matter. But that's step one. This is going to be done in several steps. We have picked our paint. So I bullied MJ into this paint color and I am going to be murdered by her entire family. They all hate it so deeply. This is too bright in this zone. I'll show you in a different section. It actually looks incredible, but this is the color that we decided is the most goodest. These curtains are coming down. This artwork's coming down, different stuff here. But this table, it's super adorable. That was one of their big purchases when they first got married and is super near and dear to their hearts. So we are going to absolutely burn it in the yard. They don't know. I just think it'd be funny. Okay, coming over here, we can see the paint again. I like this lighter on this side. I hate it in the other wall. But I think this is just going to be such a nice warm tone. This family is a bunch of homeschoolers. I'm not sure if I told you that, but they hate their kids, so their kids don't go to public school. And this is like such a typical homeschooly house. Like this bookshelf, the tons of super cozy, comfortable chairs to sit in. Like the cozy vibes where you're just snuggled up together doing schoolwork is exactly correct. Oh my God, hold on. You guys. Light bright. Amazing. Okay, and then over here, giant tree could move somewhere, but I'm kind of in love with it. This coffee bar, no matter what I said, I kept telling MJ, I was like, ooh, this. And she's like, we could move it. We could get rid of it. We could set it on fire. We can paint it. And I was like, I freaking love this thing. Shut up. So I finally got her to shut up. And we're going to keep this. Mirror's going to go over by the coffee table. And shelving's going to go here. We haven't talked about the sconces. I'm not sure if they stay or if they go. And this is going to be like a coffee tea bar, which I'm extremely excited about. And that is what we're going to do in stages.
For some reason on this day, day one, I was like, I bet you we could get all of the painting done. We could paint this entire room, which was absolutely crazy. I don't know why I had that feeling. I thought, oh, maybe we can get everything done in one day. There's 4 adults, plus her son was helping. Her son's actually an adult. So 5 adults plus, I don't know why I was going to say plus. There's 5 adults. The end. 5 adults and 2 dogs that were not helping whatsoever. And it took us so long. We had an interruption where one of our kids gets pretty sick. I think MJ gets sick during this. Thanksgiving comes and happens. I get caught up. I go to Savannah for the weekend. Like everything just kept coming together and we didn't get it finished. And I feel so bad because I think we're the family that got MJ's family sick. So when my car wasn't working, remember it was broken down for a while, it felt like, and it was constantly at the shop and I couldn't go anywhere and I couldn't do anything. So finally one day I was like, MJ, will you take me to like Target? It was right before Halloween because I was like, listen.
I was telling my friend what we were doing. She was like, your neighbor sounds fantastic. I was like,
I am fantastic.
I was like, she's a complete psycho. You'll love her.
Okay, so I wanted to put that in because that just shows you how in what esteem MJ holds me. So I remember asking her, I was like, listen, I want to run errands, but it's just for YouTube. So if you don't have to if you don't have the time, don't pick me up, but I need you to take me to like 3 different stores so I can buy things. And she was so happy to do it. And on the way home from that, one of my kids texts me that she's sick. And by the next morning, I'm texting her saying, listen, I rented a car at Enterprise, but you have to take me because we need to take Calvin to the doctor. And that's when we all tested positive for influenza. And then Calvin also had strep and a double ear infection. So I was like, by the way, thanks for spending time in an enclosed car with me all day while I had influenza. So yeah, oops. What MJ was thinking here is that we're going to spend the whole day doing a lot of house projects. And by the end of the day, she's not going to want to cook. So she's just going to start a little crock pot meal, which is amazing. And I thought that I zoomed in on it, but she cuts bell peppers like a sociopath. Like, it's the worst way I've seen somebody cut a bell pepper. And I really wanted to take the bell peppers from her and show her my way because my way's far superior. And we never ended up doing that. And I should have. But ugh, she's terrible at it. Oh, here I was like, shoes. Girl, you know what pays the bill. So she kicked her shoes off so that we could get all those foot people in. Okay. So while she is fixing the backsplash and everything like that, she's wiping things down. And now her dad's in the kitchen. I am so in love with her dad. I want to adopt her dad. He is this like quintessential New York cop where he is just like so New York. He was a cop. Apparently, he did like contractor work on the side at delis, as you do when you live in New York. And so he was such a grumpalumpicus. This man does not express joy. He expressed crotchetiness, but you can tell that all of his like gruff complaining is just because he's so excited he got to do something for his little girl. Like, you could tell he was so happy to put in this backsplash. They put in backsplash, they hung shelves, and they did the electrical for the we changed into chandeliers. They're super beautiful. But he just wanted to complain about it. It was so much fun. When I was switching out the drawer pulls and like the cabinet door handles, the knobs for the drawers, just the length of the screw was not correct. And so we kept trying to figure out different ways to get it to work. And eventually what we had to do was like drill the back side of the face of the cabinet. You know what I mean? The drawer. He had to drill it a little bit deeper so that the screw could push out a little bit further. Anyways, it's hard to explain. But as he's doing this for each and every drawer, whenever he pulled one up and there was like baking supplies in there, he's like, oh man, lots of lovely baking supplies. Never got a scone from you though, every time. And so I started complaining about how I was never getting scones from MJ. And it just turned into this really cute thing. And I don't know, he was so happy and handy. I want to like partner with him and do like a buddy cop film. That's what I want to do. I want to team up with MJ's dad and solve crimes on video. I think it would be amazing. Also, 9,000% of my time here is me hanging out with the dogs. So we moved over to the dining room area, as you can see, taking things down, and MJ is wiping everything off. We're prepping for paint. And my big thing here was I do not want to cut in on the trim. That is not going to be my job because I am terrible at it. If you guys have seen me redo my room, which looks fantastic, if you don't look too hard at the crown molding where I cut in, because that looks terrible. It's bumpy. I clearly did a terrible job, and I don't want to be held responsible for MJ looking around and being like, oh, what a crappy job. Who did such a bad job? It's going to be me. And then she'll fester her resentment, and then she'll start a YouTube channel. And her YouTube channel will be about her vendetta and destroying me. And we don't want that. What are we doing here? See all of the copper stuff she has on display up there? It's really pretty. She has puck lights that she put up there as well. Oh, look, the backsplash is in. And we're cleaning it off. So this is another day, clearly because I have an outfit change and I'm not changing my clothes at MJ's house. So look, the backsplash is in and we're cleaning it off. Sorry, it happened so long ago, you guys. Timelines are hard to remember. It just is. All right. And then I did say that we were going to move that mirror over to the coffee table when I was doing my walkthrough with you guys. I meant kitchen table. I don't know why I said coffee table. So we cleared that area off, and now the menfolk have to work on putting up shelves. And the shelves are very, oh, I hit my table. Sorry, guys. Very heavy, thick wood planks. But MJ loves them because there are knots in them. And she's like, ooh, look at the knots. And so they had to figure out, like, it was difficult. They had to put bracing things. The studs were in weird spots. Just, it was complicated for the menfolk, but we didn't care because we got to do the fun stuff. Like, take all of this freaking copper down. Another really cute thing she has up there is one of her husband's baby shoes is up there, and it's in copper, and it's so cute because it's so tiny. And her husband is enormous. He is giant and very, I bet you he's very, very scary. So he's also a version of a cop. He's not a U.S. Marshal like my husband, but he is a version of a cop. And I bet you seeing him mean, like, seeing him mean has to be absolutely terrifying. Like, my husband is cute and sweet and kind, but seeing him mean, like his professionally mean, is absolutely bonkers terrifying. One time, my brother and I were joking around telling a story and to each other, and my husband came up and like he used his Marshall voice. I'm not sure why, but asked us a question, and my brother and I froze. We were just like, oh my God. Oh my God. And then like he left, and my brother and I were like, are we in trouble? Like, are we going to go to jail? What's happening here? Like, that was the scariest voice I had ever heard. And so, and I just don't see it. And so, when I met him, he's got this like, him being MJ's husband, he's got such a cuddle face. Like, he seems really kind and fun and gentle, but I bet you when he turns on his scary mode, it like you will just absolutely die and poop your pants. Like, it, I bet you it's so scary. But he's actually quite friendly and nice. Anyways, and then it goes to show that I've decided that most of the cops that I know are Grinches, and all of their wives are Cindy Lou Who's, because man, is MJ a Cindy Lou Who. She just wants to bring Christmas to Whoville, the true spirit of everything back. She wants everybody to love you. She is just like, she's an author. She writes, she like ghost writes, which I find phenomenally interesting. And I would love to have her write a book and then put my name on it. And I'll be like, look how brilliant I am. I'm so smart. And but she's also writing her own book about burnout, which I'm really excited. And I've asked her 40,000 times to send me a copy so I can read it. And every time she's like, yeah, I'll totally email it to you. She doesn't remember. She doesn't email it to me because she sucks. I just feel like I'm saying too many nice things about MJ. I want everybody to know. Let's be clear. She's not a good human. She's terrible. Nobody loves her. I'm just using her for content and ghostwriting options. Because I should write romance novels. I really feel like I could write a solid, trashy, smutty romance novel. And the idea of forcing MJ to write all of it is too delicious. And I'll be like, no, this part's too clean. You got to trash it up a bit. Oh, my new life goal is to make MJ write a smut novel for me. That was a weird pivot, but like, this is what I need in my life. Also, we're so short. Like, trying to get back into the back corners, especially up top back corner over the fridge, was incredibly perilous. And I loved it so much. Man, I really pivoted. That's so funny to me. Another idea that we originally floated and I loved for her and would absolutely hate for me was taking all of these cabinet doors off because the inside's a really pretty natural brown, and MJ loves natural browns. She loves natural woods. And if we pulled them off and like it would just show a different color, a depth, a dimension. But I was like, I would never keep whatever's inside there clean. Like that, I could never not be able to shut and hide the craziness, like especially my spice cabinet. And I don't all of it, I guess. It would be insane. And we were looking through her cabinets talking about it, and they were, I bet you she would be able to pull it off, which is annoying. I want her to be more cluttered. So I did get a couple surprise things for her, and then a couple things that we agreed upon for her decor. And one of these things is like these sconces for the shelving.
I think these are beautiful.
It's broken, but if you like it.
You picked them out.
I pick good things. That's what you have to say. Not you pick them out. You say, yes, they're beautiful. You did a great job.
You
MJ.
did such a good job.
I know.
I'm really proud of you. I enjoy your design taste and
Hate
the
your
way
pressure.
you can rally a family to help is so
Right?
good.
It's to be commended.
It's commendable, and
Yes.
I'm proud of you, and I love you.
I love these.
Go to the garage.
Do you see that? I love you. And then she just looks at the stupid sconce things and she's like, I love these. So, what a butthead. She doesn't love me. She just loves wall decor. It's very selfish. What are we doing here? I believe she's painting a white on the backsplash because the boards that we shiplapped, by we, I mean her dad, they are not painted. They're just white. And so she's adding a little bit of paint. And I'm changing out, this is when I'm changing out all of the pulls. And we are discovering that in no way will they fit. Her husband and dad had to go to the store so many times. Every time they came back, we were like, actually, this now doesn't work. Actually. And that's what threw us off for so much of the day. They were going to do a lot of the wall painting. And like they just instead stayed at Home Depot the entire day, just back and forth, living at Home Depot. The top ones worked really well, though. It was just the bottom handles that wouldn't go through. And they're a really beautiful copper design. I'll show them to you at the end. Super pretty. Look, you can peek in there. Look at how organized the inside of there is. That's annoying. Oh, also, by the way, her house, this was extraordinarily messy for her house, and we made it even messier. But this is my friend who's like, I tidy as I go. And her house is just like baseline clean, which is stupid too. But yeah, I was like, okay, when we were going to do the final thing, and I was like, yeah, I'll come over. How much time do you need to get it like show ready? And she's like, 13 seconds. I was like, you suck. Okay. I don't know. I had a lot of fun doing this. It was over the weekend. I think I spent basically the whole day here on this day. And they brought me food to eat, and I really enjoyed that. Had to have been a Saturday because we ate Chick-fil-A. So it was definitely a Saturday a while ago that we did this. So I don't know. I loathe to compliment her further, but I just want everybody to have the sort of friend that I have where we troubleshoot we just bounce ideas off each other. And I have never shared a win that I had with MJ that she did not celebrate. I have never once had a bit of bitterness. Like, how sometimes I don't know if men do this because I'm not a man, so I can't have men to men relationships. But my dogs are fighting outside my doors like idiots. You know how I feel like this is everybody's experienced this, where you've got a friend who didn't genuinely celebrate a win of yours, where you shared something that you were excited about, that you were happy with, and they just like kind of didn't appreciate it for what it was, didn't celebrate it with you, where they're kind of more like, oh, yeah, that's interesting, but I don't understand it. Or like, I'm not familiar with this. So it sounds good, but I don't know for sure if it is. Um, or even when they're a little bit more bitter. I'll give you an example in a second. I'm just going to get my kids to come open my stupid door so that the dogs aren't fighting outside it. Because otherwise I would have to stop what I was doing, and I hate that. Okay, so for example, I had a friend a very long time ago, and we would talk about everything. She was really a good friend, and we were in a very similar phase of life. And then I started moving into a different phase of life, and they kind of were staying where they were. And that happens sometimes. And one time she told me that, just leave it open, buddy. I just want them to not fight. Um, she told me once that if she saw an ugly baby or she didn't have like something really kind to say, she would just be like, oh, it's a baby. Not, oh, your baby's beautiful. Just like, oh, it's a baby. And I remember the first time we moved our family into a house. The first time we bought a house, it was in California. We stayed in there for like 14 seconds because the Marshal Service moved us to North Dakota, but they told us we were going to stay in California until we bought the house. And I swear it was not only was it right after we purchased a house, but we planned for Calvin. And it was like the day after I realized I was pregnant, they were like, just kidding, move to North Dakota. And your husband's not going to be with you for about 6 months. And I was like, that's swell. Thanks. But I invited her over and I was like, look, look, look. And it was this cute little house and had its cute little backyard. And it was a very cute, tiny home. And instead of being happy for me, she goes, oh, it's a house. And I just knew, I was like, I feel like our friendship is spoiled. If you have bitterness towards any of my achievements and there's resentment festering there, like I can't trust you with my secrets if I feel like you're secretly rooting for me to fail. So whenever I present my like triumphs to MJ, she celebrates. And whenever I present my failures, she also, here's another thing. She doesn't not even celebrate, but she doesn't blow sunshine up my butt about my failures. Like she's not like, oh, it's fine because blah, blah, blah. She's very much, this sucks, but what can we do moving forward? What is the lesson we learned from it? But is never like, oh no, this is okay. You're amazing. You're glorious no matter what you do. She's just like, ugh, that's terrible. I would hate for that to happen. And then she helps build a path forward. And this is what we talk about when we're walking the loop and stuff. And it's that sort of friendship that I have started focusing more on now, especially now that I'm 40, because I'm old. And I know 40 is not that old, but it's fun to say it is. Focusing on friendships like that is so important because I knew in my 20s and early 30s, especially when your babies are super young and you are trying to find young moms, young babies, like mom group friends, those are so toxic 78% of the time. Like the mom groups on Facebook, when you find them and you're trying to connect with people, and it's just not great. All through that, like your 20s, your 30s, those friendships can kind of be a little rocky, I suppose, a little competitive. I don't know how to better say it, but now focusing on true, deep friendship that actually values and supports you is so important to me at this point, where I would rather cull the herd and have a few really fantastic ones than have a large friend group and feel really popular and supported. You just need one or two, I guess I'm trying to say. And I don't know why I'm on this weird tangent of friendship. I just feel like it's so important to look for people who are kind of secretly cheering for your downfall and throw them out of your life. You will be so much happier in the long run. And if you can find somebody who genuinely, deeply, truly celebrates your wins, keep that person around and maybe they'll have wins that later you can steal from them. And that's all I want. Like when she finally publishes her book, I'm just going to sneak into the editing printers, publishers, and put my name on the cover. And it's fine. And everybody be like, man, Beth, you're a darn good writer. And I'll be like, yep, did it all on my own. No one else. What are she and I doing at this point? Look at how much copper was on that table. That's crazy. Oh, we're cutting in. And by we, I mean mostly her. They did get this like edging tool that I was like, oh, yeah, I can try that. It doesn't look phenomenal, but I can try it. And it was easy for me to do the light switches and the outlets because those get covered with the covers, as they are named. And so there, it's low stakes. I can do whatever I want there. It's just going to get covered up. And the window I also feel is a little bit low stakes because it was going so well for me. But the edging does not go exactly great. But it's not my fault. It's MJ's fault. And I think that's amazing. One thing that she was really looking for in this house, I think the beige of it all, because it is a very similar color that we're putting on. This one's more cool though. She just got a very cold feeling for her home. And a lot of it's like the builder's grade. Everything is very builder's grade that they put in there. So, she wanted warm but bright and very like, French countryside. And sometimes we put things in and her husband would be like, it's not French countryside. And another amazing thing is like we would talk this out. Like previously we're like, okay, chair rail and stuff like that. And over the next day or so, she's like, nope, we totally pivoted. This is what we want instead. And then I would be like, yeah, that sounds amazing. I love that. And then like when they put the shelving unit up, they put one shelf up and I was like, oh, that looks great. And then later that night, she's like, nope, husband moved it. He didn't like it where it was. Yeah, that sounds great too. Couldn't care less. And so a lot of it was like we would have a plan. And then at night, she and her husband would be chatting and they'd be like, okay, completely different plan. Here's the new plan. I was like, yes, it's amazing. One really amazing thing is later they paint the rest of the house. We get a couple walls done, but they paint the rest of the house when we weren't there. And she told me, she's like, okay, so they weren't going to remove the wall, the TV mount that's on the wall. They weren't going to move it. They just pulled the TV out and they were just kind of going to paint around it and push the TV back in. Except the TV wasn't really anchored to a stud. It was just like in the wall and fell off. And she just sent me this picture of this massive gaping, I pulled a TV off the wall hole in her wall. I was just like, that's phenomenal. I'm so excited for that to be your house and not mine. And so that's pretty cute. That's fun. What are we doing? Just still taping. I hate taping. I feel like nobody should ever have to tape in. And we should all just have this like inherent ability to cut in and paint really well. I know I said cut in like 45 times, like I just learned the word and can't stop using it, but I had known it previously. I do know that that word exists previously. Okay, so I'm doing a different technique with this video, not because I think it would be better, but because I keep finding clips as I'm doing this voiceover of people that should have been cut out that like just walk right by. And so I have to stop talking to you guys so I can pause everything, clip them out, and restart. And then I just decided to use that chunk of voiceover and just go ahead and edit it in as I go. I edit as I go, Megan. And so I was doing that and I'm listening back and frick, it just happened again. Hold on, guys. Okay, there. It's her youngest child that keeps like darting in and out. And I'm gonna go over to her house and just break her legs. Her kids are so good. Anyways, what was I saying? So then I just start editing it back in and I listen to myself again. And that makes me want to tell you why. So I think why I was telling you about how I want MJ to write a romance novel on my behalf and just kept giggling about it, is when I was doing the editing, when I was editing this together, I was listening to obviously a interview with a murderer. Why would I not? And why would we have a video that's based around the joys of friendship and refreshing someone's house when I could talk to you guys about murderers? I can't remember her name. I had heard the story before. It's not like a super duper interesting story to the point that I'm like, clearly this is her name. Her name's something, and she's this much older woman. And her kids are grown, they're retiring. She and her husband are looking towards retirement, but she overspends. Like, she's quite the big spender and wants to take big trips, and she wants to have a very lavish lifestyle, but just it's not there. And she's a self-published author, and she wrote romance novels, like smutty romance novels, and she felt very superior to people, but apparently she wasn't really that good of a writer. And the the channel that I was watching, the compilation, it was like the wrong husband, the wrong cop, the wrong seal, the wrong like all these things. It was very much that was her pattern, you know. I guess stick with what moderately works for you. Um, and then she also wrote an article like How to Murder Your Husband, where she kind of lays out motivations, techniques, like what wouldn't work for her, what would work for her. And because she was writing like the wrong detective novels, she was also deeply researching like investigation work, police work, all these things to make her stories more accurate and feel, more immersive, I suppose. And so like she had all of this crazy research and like settled on this one thing. And so she actually does go and kill her husband. And like you do, like everybody does when they do this, really early on in the investigation, she was like, "Hey cops, I really want these several life insurance plans that I took out on my husband that are extremely lucrative. I really would like those. So if you could write like a note that says, yeah, she totally isn't a suspect, probably didn't kill her husband, so I could take that money and run." And the cops are like, "I don't know. That seems weird." And then, now she's in prison because she did a terrible job. Okay, so that was me showing you the knobs and the area where the shelving units are going to be put in. And it's getting pretty late in the day, and I am balancing on a refrigerator trying to color in paint. I wasn't coloring paint in that back section, and it was terrible. It was just not the best. And MJ and I were trying so hard to get back there, and it really wasn't easy to paint. And luckily, it's also one of those areas that nobody's really going to see. So if it goes poorly, that's fine for us. And I think, let me see. Yeah, at this time, with how we are kind of dancing at the top of what is that, a ladder, and stuff like that, her dad's watching us as we do this. And he is very disappointed in how reckless we are. He's just like, I guess it just never grows out where you watch your kids and you're like, that's not a great choice, but it's your choice. I do that with my kids all the time. Okay, here's my bad parenting. And I think it's really solid parenting, to be honest. I think this is a good idea for my kids, and still kind of do, is I want my kids to very specifically climb a tree, fall out of the tree, and break an arm, right? That sounds insane. Who roots for their kids to break their arms? Me. Because what I think it would be like a very simple break. And you can tell I have never actually broken my arm because I'm rooting for this. But what I wanted was for them to engage in a risk-taking activity, climbing a tree, for it to go horribly wrong, fall out and break your arm, and to see that you can heal and move forward, which is literally healing the arm and moving forward. And that, sometimes you can take a risk and it goes a little sideways and you can recover and move forward and be fine. Like, it's fine. I don't want them to be so shielded and cocooned that they are risk adverse. I want them, not all risks. Like, I'm not like get inside that windowless van risk, or spend all of your money on Haktua cryptocurrency and have the rug pulled out from under you. Sorry, I also watched a clip about that. The Haktua girl, like, that's classy. Oh, this is MJ installing this chandelier or taking the first chandelier out. Very proud of her. She's basically an electrician. But you know the girl who, in like just the prime example of classiness, she was doing a street interview and some guy said something, and I don't know who's listening without earbuds in, but I will put this. She says the phrase Haktua in it and spits, and it's in reference to something very grown up. And it like goes viral. And somehow now she has a talk show called Talk to, and actually has like Mark Cuban and like people there. And she's just like Jake Paul, who that's way to blend with really great people. And so now she's like, it has a pretty decent podcast. It's like third on Spotify. And so like she's really just dug her fingernails into that 15 minutes of fame, and she's like really snowballing it. Like she had something legit. And then because cryptocurrency is going up, she launched a coin. Now, here's something weird. I have been super into cryptocurrency trading, technical analysis of charts and stuff like that. I've kind of fallen off of it, but I went really deep into learning stuff like that in 2020. I loved looking at trading charts, stock markets, seeing how the different patterns play out, learning about candles and stuff like that. So in the 2020 lead up, like I really became familiar with the idea of S coins, SHI, you can spell that word coins, where it's just kind of a scam and where you can tell like this is a scam. Don't put your money into it. You're going to get rug pulled, where people who have the early investment in wait until it gets launched, everybody buys it, and they use all of that money that people are putting into it to cash out their stocks. And then all of a sudden, people are left with nothing. Well, this Haktua girl, she did that. She launched Hotcoin and rug pulled everybody. She made millions off of it and could go to jail. Hopefully they pursue that, because you can't so blatantly scam people. It's such a scam. That I got distracted, pivoted. I have no idea what I was leading into this before I got into that stupid rug pull. But like, that's insane to me that, first of all, you can take a very weird 15-minute of fame and parlay it and like do all this crazy stuff. And suddenly you're a millionaire crypto scam. Like, that's an amazing trajectory. Really into watching it. Never want to be a part of it, but insane to me. Okay, now what are we doing? Oh, yeah, that's what it was. I want my kids to take risks and heal from it, but I don't want them to dump all their money into a meme coin. Okay, now we're arguing and placing back the copper, which was weird. It was hard for me to see where I was standing, how she's putting everything. And finally, MJ's like, go stand back there. Like, nobody stands at the cabinets to assess the prettiness above the cabinets, like back up. So we're just placing it back with also the understanding that if we don't like it, she'll move it. She was also annoyed because she's like, I'm going to put Christmas up here, like my Christmas decor, and that's in a couple weeks. And I was like, well, we have to film an outro video, so put your crap up here, decorate for Christmas later. It does. She has the light pucks not on, but it does light up and it looks really pretty. She also changed out all the batteries on them, which was impressive. Not because of the skill set, but the dedication of actually changing out batteries in something is not something I enjoy doing very much. Okay. Leroy's trying to get me to focus on him and his lamekins. He brought it to me. He is booping me like crazy. He's like, hey, I don't think you're actually talking to anybody. How about we throw this lamb around? Also, how cute is that shirt she has? When I break in to repaint the walls to a better color, I will go through her drawers and steal that shirt. Leroy, leave it. I don't want to. I now have 2 lammies by my feet, guys. He's persistent, if nothing else. Okay. We're both pretty happy with that. We're really excited. And so she bought a couple different drapes. The one thing I wanted to remove were those really, really blue drapes. I felt like they were just too much. And her oldest daughter is heartbroken. She loves those drapes. So we're saving them so she can have them. She's like, no, those are my favorite blue drapes. And so the oldest daughter who loved the drapes because she has terrible taste, that is my dog human sitter. Like she was the one who, after Beauty, my Rottweiler, passed, she bought me the bouquet of flowers and um condolences and hugged me. She's also the one, like when Mark got really sick and went to the ER, she ran over, she was watching my kids. Like she's so good. Not good enough that I would let her keep those curtains, but she is good. Also, the chandelier is removed. We struggled. We had the chandelier assembled and everything like that, but there was just something about, I don't know, because I am not an electrician. It was too deep or not deep enough or the wrong thing, and they had to hire somebody to come in to hang that one specific one. But we didn't have hardly any light in here and it was nighttime, so we were trying to use like ring lights and flashlights. And MJ kept shining her flashlight like really on the curtain. And I was like, you will never do that. Stop shining your flashlight directly at the curtain to decide whether or not you like it. Just leave them up and look in the morning, look in the daylight. And these are velvet. The other ones were kind of like a satiny, silky. And then we have this lace thing she had on her first. She had those originally. Those are originals, what I'm trying to say. And I hated them. I was like, no, they're ugly and I can't stand them. But her husband really liked them. And now that they're with the cream velvets, I kind of am in love with them. I feel like we haven't had much opportunity to see these shelving. So I went to go show you this. And then all the men folks showed up and they were just a big part of it. So abruptly, here comes the side table. What is that actually called? Is that a butler hutch? What do we call those? Anyways, that thing's there again. They moved it back. And I'm really excited because the thing I was looking forward to the absolute most was decorating these shelves, which it's a new day. New day, new Beth. And we have a very small idea of what we're going to do here. And I just kept saying, the more we add, the better it's going to look. It's going to look crazy with just one thing, but I think it can look beautiful with, I don't know, 50 things. So first things first is the coffee. We wanted this cake stand thing to fit, and it clearly was not going to fit on any of the shelving. And I actually hate where that coffee cup holder, that it's such a rosy copper. I think it's the ugliest thing in the universe and I want to throw it away. It's not that pretty. All right, so I bought these. I wanted to have the glass with the wooden top for pasta because she has a hilarious amount of pasta. And it was clearly, I don't think she's going to cook from these because we didn't wash them. We were just like, throw pasta in so we can do the final result picture of it all. That right there, it was a bundle of 3 books that when you put the spines together, it makes a whale. And it made me so happy. I loved it so much. And I feel like MJ kept pitching that we didn't have to have it. And I was like, we need it. We need this so deeply. I love it so much. I love this little beer keg thing. Well, I don't imagine that's a beer keg thing. That'd be just not very much beer. Maybe like a whiskey keg. It was empty. It doesn't matter what it is, but I really thought it was cute. It feels like something I would have bought my husband before he stopped drinking. And if I bought it now, like, oh, look, it's cute. It says something like Mark's Man Cave or something dumb like that. He'd be like, thanks. Why would I don't need this. I will be like, well, oh, also my dumb husband. I wanted to get him a Christmas present. I was mad about this yesterday. I wanted to get him a Christmas present. I am a terrible gift giver. I do not know what to give people, and it's really frustrating for me because all right, little bit of a pivot. Love languages. Mine is words of affirmation. Shocking. Love words of affirmation. But my lowest is gift giving or receiving. I don't care that much. And so I put not very much effort into getting people gifts because it's just so low on my scale. And it's a problem because sometimes gift giving and receiving is somebody's love language and they really put a lot of value into it where I'm like, I got you a gift card from a store that I'm not even sure you go to, but like I got it. I'm terrible at it. But I knew my husband wanted something specific that I do not know him very much about, and he had been researching it. And I was like, oh, if I get it for him, this would be amazing. And so I know he follows a content creator who would know things. And so I reached out to this content creator in Instagram in the DMs where I was like, hey, I know you interact with my husband. I would like help. And they responded. And I was like, I want to get my husband this very specific gift, but I don't know anything about it. Could you help me research it? And they did, and they were really excited, and we were getting everything together. And stupid dumb husband comes home and is like, I'm just gonna get it. Like, I've been looking forward to it. I want to get it. I think I'm gonna pull the trigger. And I was like, don't pull the trigger. I don't think we should. I think you should hold off, blah, blah, blah. Like, I was trying to throw out all these ideas. And I think he was mad because I was telling him not to spend money on himself. I was like, don't spend money on yourself. While I had just spent money on a girls' weekend and like pampered myself. And I was like, oh, it's so hypocritical. And so finally I was like, hey, you butthead, I'm trying to get you this. And he's like, why would you be able to get me that? You know nothing about it. I was like, because I reached out to this content creator and asked for help. And he was like, no, you would never do that. And I was like, how long have we been married? It's been 21 years. You think I wouldn't do that? That is exactly what I would do. So I like showed the text exchange and stuff. I was like, but way to just like poop on Christmas. So congratulations. Now you're getting socks. And so he's going to get spite socks for Christmas. And that's it. And he's like, well, you can still get it. And I was like, no, you ruined it. You ruined the one time in 21 years I was going to get you a good, thoughtful gift. Like, I hope he's looking forward to this happening again when he's 65 because that'll be his next opportunity. But I'm so mad at him still. I should text him and pick a fight. There's no reason to just hold all this annoyance in and just share it with you guys. I should share it with him, pick a fight. It'll be fun. Okay, so this is starting to come together. We're still really struggling with like exactly what we want to put where. And it turns out MJ has every candle that's ever been created since the history of time. I mean, power outages, she's going to survive for a solid 17 years with just her little candle storage if the apocalypse actually happens. And it'll be good because I don't know that zombies really can see candlelight that well. Well, I guess we'll discover when it happens. But she has it. She has so many. Oh, frick. Hold on, guys. I have to edit out a person. Okay, luckily that time it was her dumb husband. So we are staying on theme of husbands ruining things. Had to clip them out. And we are, okay, now what we're struggling with is balancing green in here. And she has so many plants, which I deeply adore. So we're just moving plants over and placing them here. It's starting to look super adorable. And I'm very much in love with it. Whoa, did you guys hear my kids sneeze? Now my dumb kids ruining things. I know. Look at how cute this looks. I'm really actually quite jealous of it. I think it turned out super well. We moved the coffee mugs up and they're not going to stay up there. I think the intention is to get little hooks and hang the coffee cups underneath that shelf so that they kind of dangle down and look really pretty. And it's just starting to feel so cozy. It does feel like the more stuff that we add on there, the cozier it gets. And we spend a lot of time, a crazy amount of time on this little tea holding set thing. I don't know why we spent so much time on it, but we became very focused on organizing the tea. Later, do you see that basket that I put the white candles in? It's on the middle shelf. In that basket later, MJ sends me a picture and she puts the tiny dog Brutus in that little basket and sends me a picture. It's so cute. I love that dog so much. He's adorable. He's just the happiest little man who ever does run around. And here we are, we're decorating pasta decorations. What am I doing with the coffee mugs now? Oh, now we're discussing hanging it underneath and whether or not we want to do that, which we do. And finally, last day. This is, oh, by the way, this is how dirty her house is for me to come in and do the final result thing. Like, oh, look at, where's her trash on the floor? Where's the tissues that Leroy puts everywhere? Where's all of that crap? It's nowhere to be found. And I forgot that I bought this clock. I thought it looked very Frenchy and I bought it and I forgot about it. So I thought we were going to add a lot more pictures and stuff like that on that back wall where that mirror is. And so that was kind of my intention, but we ended up putting it on the shelving unit. And I had a vision for this table. That's really what I wanted to decorate. Oh, and I'm showing her, I bought her these little things. They're so cute. They're the little glass lanterns with wicker around it. I thought that was going to be incredibly adorable. I did get really worried that these were going to smell terrible. Like the one time I bought vines for my house and it smelled like dead fish. I was super concerned opening that. I was like, please don't smell like dead fish. Like, please don't do that. And they're cute. They're like fake laurel leaves, but they're really too artificial green, I think. It's somewhat off putting in her home where she just has like really natural green. It's too green. And I don't know why MJ thought dimming the lights would be better cinematographically. That's a word, guys. Do not Google it. But she did, and it's not. So it's fine. I'm hoping, like, the end goal here, guys, is to ruin this relationship. And that's all I want out of life. She's no good. We don't love her. We have no idea what we're doing here. We're just finding different things. And these little copper shot glasses are really adorable. I just needed more copper on this table, I felt. And this rug, we were talking about replacing the rug entirely, but it looks so good with the new paint, new curtains, and everything like that. It just looks really pretty. And I'm glad we didn't try to get a different rug. No matter what we did, it just was too stinking beige. Okay. And yep, I was like, listen, it's not great, but it's needed. Like, sorry guys, like we need the green of it. And after we're done with the staging of it all, we can go to Hobby Lobby another time and get new greenery. And oh yeah, she's putting in candles. And that's actually something that really changes the whole vibe of it, was actually putting in and lighting these candles. It turns out it just gets really cozy and homey and adorable. So after 1 million years and numerous off topics, these are our final results. I tried to slice in the befores and afters. It's not great how that gets done, but I love it. And I had her stand at her kitchen counter like that and look over the countertops. And I was right. She doesn't see the countertops nearly as much now because she has these beautiful chandeliers, these really amazing, like, shelving decor and everything like that. The walls are a warmer color for her. And she doesn't focus on how much she hates her countertop. She just focuses on how much she loves her actual home, or at least that is what she is telling me. Who knows? Maybe she hates it and doesn't know how to bring that up. Look at how cute everything on here is. Most of this stuff is stuff that she just happened to have and we moved it around. And I love decorating from the decor you already have. I also deeply love buying new decor. I think I love buying more than whatever. Anyways, but sourcing from your own stuff is such a great idea. And it just made everything look so perfect. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I really loved this project and I love chatting with you guys. And I absolutely cannot wait to see what we get up to in the next video. And I love this dog. Bye.